Hey, it's Sue. Today I wanted to do a little bit of a study on some hands since I was drawing yesterday and I realized I can't really do it. So if that sounds like fun, I hope you'll join me in the process. Let's get right into it. Okay, so this is the picture I drew yesterday, and normally when I'm drawing hands I'll just do triangles, but since I was trying to refine the sketch a little bit more than I usually do, I tried to put actual hands in there and I realized I don't really know how I'm supposed to do it. So I am going to be drawing some hands today and trying to figure out how I want to stylize them and just how to, make them in general. Alright, so I figured that we could just start with a simple hand and front view. I just want to get better at drawing in different poses and not making my fingers look like spiky sticks. So that's what we're going to be working on. So let's just start with hitting the palm in place. I have learned that you want to make sure you draw the palm as a separate thing from the hand, because it is in fact a vital part of the hand. It's where all the fingers come from, and if you don't have that, you're going to end up with a very weird looking hand. I think my main problem is fingers, honestly. They just give me trouble. I just need to figure out how I want to draw them. I see a lot of artists stylize them, but none of them are ever ways I want to stylize them, or maybe I'm just lazy. I don't know. I kind of should have drawn this lower down, or at least smaller, because of just how big this one is. I feel like another one of my major problems is the fact that I have trouble connecting the hand to the wrist. If you look here, it's kind of fleshed with the arm, when really a hand would it juts out from it. So I think that's definitely something I need to work on. This hand overall isn't that bad. I feel like I also need to decide whether I want to put fingernails in or not. A fingernail can either make or break a hand. It's a very fine line and difficult to figure out if you want to do it. So now that I've done that, let's try something a little more complicated. Now that I've kind of gotten warmed up and know what I want to do, just something in a little bit more of a typical pose. Let's try a fist, see if that works. So let's use the same technique we used for that one. Draw a box. Then we can do the fingers on top of it. I feel like I've just gotten bad at drawing hands because I've stopped really doing it. Because like I mentioned earlier, I'll typically just draw a triangle for our hand and leave it like that, just because that's how I got used to doing it. Because I would always just be drawing simple, and then I never detail the hand properly, and it'd always just be a triangle. The only time I think I detail a hand is when I was drawing a fist, and most of the time when I draw a fist, I'm drawing one of the turtle's hands, and they only have, the 3 fingers. I'm gonna do better. 3 fingers, 1, 2, 3. And when you're drawing like that, it's a lot different than when you're drawing, actual hands. Since one of my favorite things to draw is people, and not knowing how to draw hands is definitely a hindrance when you draw as many people as I do. So far this isn't going too bad, but there's definitely some things I wish I could improve. Again, I want to figure out a better way for me to attach things to the palm. I feel like I can get the palm in place, but then the fingers and wrist just don't attach in a way I'm satisfied with. I also want to know, or I want to try to make the hand smaller, because typically the hand would never be this big unless I'm drawing a close-up on the hand, and so I need to see how I would like to simplify it when drawing it smaller. Maybe we can even add some color. If that's the case though, I'd like to get out my color erase pencil, since I find it looks the best under the markers. I Okay. I think I'm doing this wrong. This is not how it should look. So we're gonna try another technique for this. I think I need to draw the palm a different way because that is what is messing me up here. Let's see, this is the side of the palm. And then we've got this here. And we've got this here, and one finger comes out like this. Just mark that out. Another finger comes out like this. One finger comes out like this. And it looks better than it did. I think it'll work. Let's give this one a bracelet, just to be unique. I feel like when doing a hand study, even if you're drawing human hands, it could definitely help you figure out how to draw like turtle hands for like the TMNT characters, just because you'd simply just be doing the same process, only minimizing the amount of fingers you have from 5 to 3. Which honestly, if you think about it, only having 3 fingers is quite weird. But I mean, I guess it wouldn't be weird for them since they've had it their whole lives. Just make sure we don't lose any of the shapes in here, because it is a quite dark color. See, how does this purpley color look? Not bad, it's still kind of a dark color. Do you have like a blue maybe? This is the blue I use when I'm coloring Heather. That's a nice color. It's got a lot of contrast. We can always go darker because it's pretty light. You can always go darker, but you can't go lighter. Yeah, I think this was the right way to go. It's got a lot of contrast between the skin. Now, as for the bracelet, do I want to go with the same color? I don't know if it'll look like a bracelet at that point. I think we'll use black for that, just because it's a bracelet, I guess. Make sure it looks like a bracelet. I don't want it to look like a weird dent in the skin, because that would be very odd. There's that. Now I think we can add some shading. Oh, I forgot to do the nail on the top. There we go. Now we can do some shading. And I definitely want like a shadow here under this finger. Like around here. One here. And some along the back of these fingers. I think this one turned out pretty good. I like how it looks. I don't think I've colored like just a hand before. Oh, well, actually, I think I have, but that was in my last sketchbook. So it was different. Let me just add a little bit of shading to the nails. And And I think I'm gonna leave that as it is. I like the way it turned out. I think it adds some interest to the spread. Now, let us go back to drawing hands. I think the next one I want to do is, I think I'll do this one. It's kind of like in a distorted pose. But I want to try and draw it smaller, just so I can see if I can figure out how to do that. Yeah. Okay. I think we'll just stick it in like right around here. So what I'm seeing is the palm going like this. I think this is really the last one we do from reference, and then I'll try and do one from my imagination and see if I've learned anything. I feel like it looks kind of flat, like there's no form to the hand. Let's see if I can fix that. That's the wrong pencil. I think that one's okay. Definitely could have been better. Alright, now I'm going to try and draw one from my imagination. The question is, how am I going to... Do I want to do a little bit more of a complicated pose? I think I'll draw one in how I typically draw out my hands, and then I'll try something a little more complicated. Let's put the palm in. Try and keep it very flowy and loose because no one wants a stiff hand. It's gonna come off actually stiff. Whoops. So much for flowy and loose. I feel like my main problem is I keep making the hands so flat. Okay, that's not quite what I wanted. It's kind of stiff. Let's try practicing something I know I cannot do, which is drawing a hand holding a pencil. Let's get the pencil in there first. Let's try and draw this relatively small, just so. Got room. We got the thumb right about here. Maybe I should be drawing the palm first. The palm going here. And it comes out like this. And then this goes around like that. It comes down to here. This is how you're supposed to hold your pencil. I hold my pencil wrong, but it works for me, so I'm not gonna change it. Yeah, I just hold my pencil how I hold my spoon. Just like this. Yeah. Hey, it works. I'm not gonna try and change it. I actually have tried to like fix this and like hold my pencil the right way, but like never actually done it. Now we've got and been filling up this spread with a bunch of severed hands. Just sounds a lot more disgusting than it actually is. Let's do something with a little bit of like perspective involved. Like this one, we've got like the fingers. I'm gonna break this down into shapes. So we've got a clump of fingers here, and one finger coming here, and then a thumb. Well, the thumb coming out like this. And you've got that coming there, and then this. Let's try and give this a little bit more form. Let's draw the fingers in. And this other finger, define it a little bit more. I feel like my main problem is sometimes, or a lot of the time, my fingers just turn out to look like, oh, there goes the garbage truck. They just turn out to look like sausages. Oh, has this been off frame the whole time? Sorry about that. A little better. I'm still kind of getting lost in here though. Okay, let's just try. Got this finger here. Well, actually, this finger's not even in the right perspective with how I drew this hand. Let's try moving the finger this way. How am I gonna stick this thumb in here? Let's see, this would go around like this, that like that, and then the thumb would come out like this, right? Looks better. I think we'll just leave it. I can always try drawing the thumb again later. Definitely looks better than it did. And as I said, I would leave it, and I kept fiddling with it. Alright, let's try. Do we want to do another one? Do we have any more space for another one? Let's see. Let's try and do one in a similar pose to what I was trying to do. Here, and I ended up with that really stiff hand. Let's just go. Just kind of keep it kind of loose and flowy. I don't want a stiff hand, because then it makes everything look like sausages, not fingers. Should be one more finger in here. I think one of my main problems is I don't divide the finger up into having like two joints and then the knuckle joint. I think of it as having one place to bend and then the knuckle. So I think that's one of my main problems, because it's always super stiff because I don't think of the other joints. So if I was to divide it up like this, think of it as though it had multiple joints, I think I wouldn't have quite as big of a problem. Obviously this is going to take time and getting used to, like drawing a little bit more complicated hands, but I feel like we're definitely getting somewhere. Hope this is helping you guys, because it's helping me. Alright, there we go. That hand's much looser. So yeah, dividing it up into sections definitely helps. I think that's all the room I have on these spreads really cramped. I don't think I have any more room to cram hands in here, so I think that'll be all for this video. But if you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing. And I hope this helped you guys. Well, I guess. Bye.